Penn State football was supposed to return on Saturday, but Beaver Stadium will remain empty as the Northwestern Wildcats, who were scheduled to come, will not, as the Big Ten has currently canceled its fall sports seasons, including football, due to the coronavirus pandemic. Of course, that is nothing new. Ben Free here with Evan Patrick. We're just going to do a quick little video, go through what if Penn State were playing Northwestern, opening their 10-game conference-only schedule this weekend against the Wildcats. So, Evan, I'm doing research for this. A little interesting because Northwestern has consistently recently played Penn State pretty tight. James Franklin actually has a losing record against Northwestern, but the last time they met, Penn State dominated on the road in 2017, 31-7 victory. And this actually could be a very interesting game if it were to be played in the opening week of the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, this one, when the Big Ten put out their revised schedule and we saw this as the opening game, I thought actually this could be a very close game because, I mean, when you really break down these teams and the personnel that they have returning for the 2020 season, you could kind of make the case that it's not the best matchup for Penn State. I mean, last season, Northwestern, they struggled on offense. That's to put it lightly. They're second worst in the Big Ten in scoring offense, but defensively, they're a middle-of-the-pack Big Ten team in scoring defense, and they return their core three linebackers in Chris Burgeon, Blake Gallagher, and Patty Fisher there. And that group right there is something that's going to make it tough on Penn State's offense, which is going to be really dependent on running the ball this season. And so Northwestern has the ability to kind of load the box and defend against Journey Brown and Noah Kane, who are going to be the bulk of the offense because, I mean, where the questions lie for Penn State in this season and what would have been this season or in the passing game. And so with the departures of KJ Hamler mainly, there's a lot of unanswered questions in that area. And so I think Northwestern matches up well. You got to, of course, mention Peyton Ramsey coming in as a transfer quarterback from Indiana, where, I mean, he got beat out by Michael Penix, who is a phenomenal quarterback in his own right, but Peyton Ramsey is the best quarterback that Northwestern has had in a while. And so it remains to be seen. I mean, we don't know how that offense would have looked adding in Ramsey, but I mean, you can make a case that this Northwestern team, a team that only won 3 games last season, is gonna hold up a lot better this season.
Peyton Ramsey has played Penn State very, very well every time he played at Indiana against the Lions. He had career games every time he played against Penn State. So you have that going in there, returning to Beaver Stadium. But both teams, new offensive coordinators, first game of the year, would have been the first game of the year. There was no spring practice. So you would have to think there's going to be some rust for both of these teams on the offensive side of the ball if they took the field on Saturday. And both teams do have strong defenses. I mean, and you mentioned it with Northwestern returning most of their talent. Penn State also returning a bunch of talent. Of course, the big loss for Penn State would be Micah Parsons wouldn't be playing as he opted out of the season. But at the end of the day, this could have been a lot closer of a game than people think for a Northwestern team that's coming off a 3-9 season and a Penn State team that had national championship expectations. This game actually really could be interesting as it could be a defensive slugfest. But at the end of the day, I think because it would have taken place at Beaver Stadium, Penn State would have found a way to pull out a victory in this game. I think I said 23-14 was my final score.
Yeah, no, I agree that I think Penn State in the end would get the job done. I mean, you can't count out Pat Fitzgerald getting his team fired up. They're going to come into this game very ready. And I mean, I think that early in this game, Northwestern could possibly get the better of Penn State for a little bit as both teams try and get their footing right. But I mean, the key to the game for me, if it were to be played, would be Penn State is going to have to find a way to move the ball through the air if they want to win comfortably. Because I think the scouting report on Penn State this year is make Sean Clifford and an unproven group of receivers beat you. And that's what they're going to have to do. But in the end, the score that I predicted would be 28-10 in favor of Penn State.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this quick hitting video about, what if there was a football game in Beaver Stadium on Saturday. We have a bunch of cool content planned this weekend, so stay tuned for the Collegian for all of your Penn State football coverage.